Hello learners, welcome to NIOS. I am Sugandha Rawat, an educational counselor with the Indira Gandhi National Open University. Today we will discuss chapter number 18 of your ICH syllabus. Our topic is Education in India. Dear learners, by the end of this lesson, we will try to achieve the following objectives. We will try to learn about nature of education imparted during different periods of our Indian history, that is, ancient, medieval and modern. We will also learn about subjects of study, medium of instruction and government policies and programs regarding education. Let us begin by understanding the meaning of education. Education is the sum of all the learning activities as well as experiences. We must remember that the real aim of education is to modify the human behavior in the desired manner. Like culture, the system of education has also evolved over a period of time. We will now learn about the nature, condition and scope of education during different periods of our history, that is, ancient, medieval and modern. First of all, we will discuss the condition of education in India during ancient period. We have further divided this period into Vedic period, Maurya period, Gupta period and post-Gupta period. During the ancient period, learning was an intimate relationship between the guru or the teacher and his pupils. This was called Guru Shishya Parampara. The education began with the Upnayan ceremony. However, education was restricted to the people of upper three castes. They were the Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. During Maurya period, education was largely controlled by guilds. These guilds were associations of merchants and artisans who did the same job. This period marked great development in the field of medicine as Charak wrote Charak Samhita on medicine and Sushrut wrote Sushrut Samhita on surgery. As heterodox sects like Buddhism and Jainism became popular, people started learning about these religions. During Gupta period, Nalanda University was famous all over Asia. In fact, the first Chinese traveller to India, Fahian, studied at Pataliputra for many years. Learners, during the rule of King Harshavardhana of Kannauj, great progress was registered in the fields of art and education. Takshashila, Ujjain, Gaya and Nalanda became main centres of learning in post-Gupta period. In 7th and 8th centuries, Ghatikas or colleges attached to temples became main centres of Brahminical learning. Medicine became a subject of learning at centres like Takshashila and Varanasi. People took keen interest in various branches of mathematics like algebra, geometry, arithmetic, etc. Subjects like astronomy, philosophy, chemistry, metallurgy also made progress in this period. Sanskrit enjoyed a position of privilege in ancient India. However, the Buddhists made use of both Pali and Prakrit languages in their works. In South India, Dravidian languages Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam and Kannada flourished, while Jain writers made use of Apabhramsha form of language. Let us now study the condition of education in medieval India. This period has been further divided into Sultanate period and Mughal period. With the establishment of Delhi Sultanate in India, Islamic system of education was introduced. There were many famous madrasas all over the country. Both mankulat or traditional subjects like reading of Quran, theology, philosophy and makulat or rational subjects like logic, mathematics, astronomy, etc. were taught in these madrasas. Do you know that this period marked great progress in the field of education and learning? The first three Mughals, Babur, Humayun and Akbar, were great patrons of learning. Linguistic intercourse between Turks and Indians led to the birth of Urdu language. Learners, now we will learn about the developments in the field of education during the modern period in India. When the English came to India, they found a vibrant system of elementary and higher education. Englishmen like Warren Hastings and Jonathan Duncan started organizations to teach Muslims and Hindus about English education and administration. Charter Act of 1813 was the first big step taken by British in the direction of promoting education in India. A sum of ₹1 lakh was to be spent for this purpose annually. Macaulay's Minute of 1835 and Wood's Dispatch of 1854 prepared the roadmap of English education in India. Macaulay's Minute is called the Magna Carta of English education in India. There were two schools of thought that developed during this period, Orientalists and Anglicists. While the Orientalists wanted to teach indigenous subjects in Indian languages to Indians, the Anglicists favored teaching of Western subjects in English language. Finally, the Macaulay's Minute decided that Indians will be taught Western subjects in English medium. The British encouraged the teaching of English language in schools and colleges as they needed people to work in the administrative offices, either as clerks or babus. This helped in creating a new class of people who later helped them in governance as well as in controlling many aspects of administration in India. Do you know that the teaching of English was encouraged by the British rulers to suit their own interest, but it proved to be useful for the Indians in a different way. People living in different parts of India spoke different languages and there was no language that could be understood by them all. Use of English by Indians provided one language that cut across the entire country and became a common link for them. English books and newspapers brought to them new ideas from across the sea, that is, other countries. Fresh ideas from the West like freedom, democracy, equality and brotherhood began to have its impact on the thinking of the English-knowing Indians, which gave rise to national consciousness. The educated Indians now thought of getting freedom from British rule. Dear learners, let us now discuss the condition of education in India after independence. After independence, the government worked very hard to promote education in the country. Education process has been divided into these steps. Elementary stage, that includes students from classes 1st to 8th, then comes the secondary stage with students from class 9th to 12th, and finally we have the higher education that starts after a student finishes class 12th. Elementary education is the most crucial stage of education, spanning the first 8 years of a person's life and laying the foundation for the development of personality, attitudes, social confidence, habits, life skills and communication skills. There has been a phenomenal expansion of secondary education since independence. It covers children of age group from 14 to 18 years, that is between classes 9th to 12th. Higher education begins after a student completes senior secondary, that is class 12th stage. He then enters a college which is part of a university. Removal of adult illiteracy has also been accepted as an imperative goal. Adult education, particularly in the age group of 15 to 35 years, has been included as part of the Minimum Needs Program in the 6th Plan. In this regard, National Literacy Mission objective is to impart functional literacy. It is impossible to overestimate the importance of technical education. India already has one of the largest reservoirs of trained manpower. Technical and management curriculum was targeted on current as well as the projected needs of the industry. Technically trained persons have already been a source of strength for scientific and industrial development. Centers of excellence like IITs and IIMs have been opened to provide highest quality technical education to the youth of the country. And the open and distance learning is helpful for those students who cannot attend school or college regularly for various reasons. Since independence, the nation has invested a large part of its resources in education. It therefore has a right to expect the efficient functioning of educational institutions. The first educational policy of 1968 marked a significant step in the history of education in post-independence India. It aimed to promote national progress and to strengthen national integration. The new national policy of education, formed in 1986, was based on the achievements made in the last few years. Among the recent developments introduced in the field of education, the 86th Constitutional Amendment, making education a fundamental right, was passed by Parliament in 2002. The law makes it obligatory on part of the state governments and local bodies to ensure that every child in the age group between 6 to 14 gets free elementary education in a school in the neighborhood. RMSA is a centrally sponsored scheme for universalization of access to an improvement of quality education at secondary stage. It was started during 11th five-year plan period. The goal of RMSA is to make good quality secondary education available to all young students in the age group of 15 to 16 years. With this, we have come to the end of this lecture. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.